Okay, hey guys, today I want to do a video on the HyperX Pulsefire Haste. It's HyperX's new mouse aimed at the lightweight market, and I wanted to say that they've done a good job, but before I get into details of everything, I actually want to show you guys like in detail the DPI deviation on the mouse, and how it's like stranger than some people are putting it. So some people just say it's like a plus or minus 50, and it's actually a little different. You get different values based on what DPI you're at. So I have it set at 300 because it's the closest to 400, and I play at 400. So if you use this website, I have no idea how accurate it is, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty accurate based on comparing it with other mice. So if I set the DPI to 400, target distance is 5 centimeters, configure DPI 400. Well, the configured DPI is technically 300, right? So I'll put it at that, and we'll see that if I put it at 20, which is a good reference for the camera to see, and I go 5 centimeters, you get 390, which is close enough to 400, which is what I play at, so it's not that big of a deal if you play at 400 DPI. The thing is, I don't know what you're supposed to do if you play at a different DPI, because I can show you, like, if you put it to a true 400, you're gonna get like 486. So it seems like a constant, it's like a flat 90 increase, right? But it's not actually the case, because I can show you with a 800 DPI setting. Going 5 centimeters. It's a 980, which is quite the difference. So if you play at 800 DPI, you might want to use 700, but then again, that might still be over 800. See? About 765. $775. So if you play at a 400 DPI, play at 300 with this mouse. If you play 800 DPI, play 700. And people are saying it's not a big deal, it's like plus or minus 50, but it's actually enough of a deal that I think you should lower your DPI by about 100, depending. Or if you're 800 or below, you should lower it by 100. If you play above 800, you should do your own testing and see what's closest to your actual DPI. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter as long as you adjust your sense and you feel comfortable with the mouse. I mean, that's how you perform in games anyways, right? If you're comfortable, if it works, then that's it. And the thing is, like, this mouse does everything else really well, so that I still recommend it even with these problems. But I still want to document this because this is kind of weird, and I feel like this can be fixed with a firmware issue, or maybe HyperX can see this and make a statement on what's wrong with some of the mouses, because I've seen people measure, and I've heard that some people have measured and that they measure no inconsistency, like no deviation. Like the deviation is just like human error or something at that point. But that's just not what I see on my mouse. And if I show you a different mouse, like the Viper Mini that I have, this is at 400 DPI. So if I do the test again, get like 397, you get a deviation about like 0.56, and this is closer to what human error should be, right? It shouldn't be like 5%, 10% that you get with this mouse on configured DPIs. Just to show you again. $395, that's like a 1% deviation. Like, this feels more like human error to me than the other things, which is why I kind of believe this website, even though I have no clue how credible this is. Okay, so besides the DPI deviation, there really isn't anything to complain about with this mouse. And the sensor is a 3335, which some people thought was weird, but I can't tell the difference between a 3360 and a 3389 and this. Except for maybe the DPI deviation, but I guess in real-time performance, that doesn't really count. So the sensor is fine to me. The feet are nice. They're big pills. You get 4 of them on the bottom, and they're pretty thick. So if you have a softer pad, and I'm using a Zero Soft here, even if you press into the pad, you won't get plastic interference with the bottom of the shell. So I don't feel like you need aftermarket feet for this, so that's fine. The cable is thin and it's light, and it's really good. It's a different type of cable than the stock XM1 cable, so I can't really compare the two directly. All I know is that they both work fine with a bungee. I don't feel like I need a paracord for this mouse. The clicks are really good. They use TTC golds, and they take a bit more force to actuate than the Omron 20Ms, and they feel a lot better. The thing is, the clicks on this mouse do have a bit of side-to-side wobble, but you don't end up feeling it in real-time performance because of the extra... I mean, I don't know why, but I think part of the reason is the extra force that the TTC Gold takes to actuate makes you not think about like the side-to-side wobble or deviation in a click. And the side clicks are fine. The only thing I would complain is that they have like a tiny bit of pre-travel, but I would only complain about this because there's nothing else to complain about on this mouse. And the DPI button is there, it works. I honestly don't use DPI buttons. I don't even remap them or anything. And finally, the scroll wheel is solid. I mean, it might feel a little thin for some people, but it feels fine to use. It's pretty loose. It's very loose actually, but you still feel the tactility for each step of the scroll wheel. And the scroll wheel clicks are fine, but I personally don't use this, but if you do, they're fine. And the shape of the mouse is, apparently, some people have said it's an FK clone, but I don't know because I've never used an FK. All I know is that this mouse shape is pretty unique because it's pretty wide and the hump is in the middle. So because the hump is in the middle, it kind of naturally grab it as a fingertip grip. And yeah, it just feels fine. The last thing I guess is the weight and then the grips. So the weight is about 59 grams, it's about 60 because I have the side grips on it. Doesn't really matter, it's lightweight, it performs fine. And the grips, I would just wanted to say that they actually have pretty good grip tape that comes with the mouse. They give you 2 sides, which I have on, and 2 triggers, which I don't have on. But the grips are thin and, I mean, they give you grip like they're supposed to. So I can't complain about that. Yeah, basically this is a really, really good mouse. It's only $50. The only downside is that it's not on Amazon, so you can't abuse the return system. But I don't think a lot of people are actually going to be returning this mouse because it's really solid. So yeah, thanks for watching.